Christian Schad was a German painter and photographer who became one of the leading figures of the new Objectivity, Neue Sachlichkeit movement. Renowned for his precision in realism and his unflinching portrayal of modern life, Schad's career spanned several decades and saw him explore various artistic styles, from Expressionism to Dada and Realism. His work provides a striking window into the cultural and social landscape of post-World War I Europe, and his pioneering photography also had a lasting influence on avant-garde photography. Born in Miesbach, Bavaria, on August 21, 1894, Christian Schad grew up in a well-off family that supported his early artistic inclinations. In 1913, he began studying at the Academy of Fine Arts in Munich, where he initially dabbled in expressionist styles, influenced by the work of artists such as Wassily Kandinsky and Franz Marc. Schad's early works were marked by bold colors and exaggerated forms, traits commonly associated with the Expressionist movement. However, his artistic path took a turn during World War I when he left Germany to avoid conscription. He settled in Zurich, where he became involved with the burgeoning Dada movement. Zurich in the 1910s was a hotspot for artistic experimentation, and Schad found himself in the company of avant-garde thinkers like Hugo Ball and Tristan Tzara. While in Zurich, Schad experimented with abstract forms and began creating his famous shadagraphs, early examples of cameraless photography where objects were placed on photographic paper and exposed to light, resulting in ethereal, abstract images. These photograms, which predate the similar work of Man Ray, showcased his innovative spirit and helped solidify his place in early 20th century avant-garde circles. Schad's work in the 1920s marked his shift towards the new Objectivity movement, which was a reaction against the emotional intensity and abstraction of Expressionism. New Objectivity artists sought to portray reality in a detached, matter-of-fact way, often highlighting the coldness, alienation, and fragmentation of modern society. Schad moved to Vienna and later to Berlin, where he became one of the central figures of the movement. His paintings during this time, which are some of his most famous works, stand out for their sharp focus, clear lines, and almost photographic realism. His subjects were often everyday people, artists, writers, and members of the upper middle class, whom he portrayed with an objective, sometimes clinical gaze. Schad's portraits are distinguished by their precise detail and a sense of psychological depth, yet there's also an emotional distance in his work, reflecting the disillusionment many felt after the devastation of World War I. One of his most iconic works from this period is Self-Portrait with Model, 1927, which exemplifies the Neue Sachlichkeit's characteristics. In this painting, Schad presents himself as a detached observer of his own life, standing next to a model with an expression that is cold and inscrutable. The model, in turn, gazes blankly into the distance, further emphasizing the emotional disconnection between the figures. Another key painting is Count Saint-Genoix d'Anocourt, 1927, where Schad portrays a nobleman in a highly detailed, almost hyper-realistic manner, yet with an air of detachment and mystery. The surface realism of these works masks deeper themes of alienation and the fragmented nature of modern life. The 1930s were a challenging time for Schad, as the political landscape in Germany became increasingly volatile. The rise of the Nazi regime posed a threat to many avant-garde artists, whose work was often deemed degenerate by the authorities. Schad, however, managed to avoid persecution, in part because his work did not explicitly challenge the regime and because he withdrew from the public eye to some extent during these years. During World War II, Schad's output diminished, and he lived in relative obscurity, painting private commissions and turning away from the public art scene. It wasn't until the 1960s and 1970s that there was a renewed interest in his work, as art historians and critics began to re-examine the Neue Sachlichkeit movement and its contributions to 20th century art. In the later decades of his life, Schad's work gained new recognition, and he was celebrated as one of the pioneers of the new Objectivity movement. He participated in retrospectives and exhibitions that reassessed his contribution to modern art, and his influence on both painting and photography became more widely acknowledged. His shadagraphs, in particular, were hailed for their innovation, and were placed alongside the work of figures like Man Ray and Laszlo Moholy-Nagy in discussions of early experimental photography. Schad's legacy lies in his unique ability to capture the complexities of modern life through a lens of realism and detachment. His portraits, while technically flawless, offer more than just physical likenesses. They delve into the psyche of the modern individual, often revealing a sense of isolation and disconnection that was pervasive in the interwar period. His work, whether in painting or photography, serves as a powerful commentary on the alienation and fragmentation of the human experience in the modern world. Christian Schad passed away on February 25, 1982, in Stuttgart, Germany, leaving behind a body of work that continues to resonate with audiences today. His contributions to the New Objectivity movement, as well as his pioneering work in photography, have secured his place as a key figure in 20th century art, one whose influence extended beyond the borders of Germany and into the broader world of European modernism.